Superhero, happy Sunday. I'm Sam, the Miracle Man. I hope you're enjoying your day, creating those miracles, those transformations right here, right now. If you're new to my channel, I do this talk every Sunday on a different subject. Today we're going to be talking about suffering and awakening, and just exploring what is awakening, what is suffering, and once you awaken, does the suffering subside? Does awakening eliminate suffering? So I do a short talk, then after a short talk, I do a practice, because it's one thing to have words, to intellectualize. It's another to have that direct experience. And when we have that direct experience, then we begin to learn how do we create that miracle, that transformation in our life. So I see some people joining here. So welcome. So after this practice, I do a Q&A. And since we're talking about awakening today, I'm pulling up the Buddha Wisdom deck, and I'll do some readings from this afterwards. Hey, Rebecca, thanks for joining. So I hope you're doing well there in England. So when we think about awakening, what does awakening imply? The way I see awakening is discovering who we truly are. Most of us are identified with our thoughts. I know I was this way for 37 years. I would say I'm bipolar. I took bipolar as me, but that was not very helpful. That actually keeps bipolar in place when you identify with things like that. Hey, Kat, thanks for joining. Oh, glad you're doing well, Rebecca. Yeah. So, what I was just saying about awakening is really remembering who we truly are. And I never had any concepts of spiritual awakening, enlightenment. That was never my concern. It was simply realizing that I was completely overwhelmed. I was completely stressed out about life. So I simply wanted peace. So I discovered meditation. One of the benefits of meditation was peace. I'm like, oh, I need peace. So I just sat there. I'm glad I didn't have a spiritual teacher filling up me with rules, how to sit, how to hold your hands. All this kind of stuff can create more stories, more baggage, if you will. So the awakening is a personal journey, Rebecca. So I can give you clues, but ultimately that's up for you. But so what I was saying about when I discovered meditation, I just sat there. I didn't have any of these rules. But I discovered I was like under the impression that meditation means you stop thinking. So I'd be sitting there and be like, stop thinking, stop thinking, stop thinking. Then I realized, wait a minute, that's a thought chasing a thought. Then I realized I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. So that was my first self-realization. Yeah, you don't want those loads of books on meditation, Rebecca. You really don't want a lot of books on meditation. My own personal advice, it's going to fill more stories, and it's actually going to prevent you from discovering who you truly are. Because you don't want to intellectualize, you don't want to read about it. Because when I discovered meditation, I didn't have a spiritual teacher, and that was one of my blessings. One of my blessings was not having a spiritual teacher, because I was dealing with bipolar OCD. So he gave me rules. I'd be really making sure I'm sticking to those rules. And that would prevent me from discovering who I was. So I don't recommend like a lot of heavy reading and taking that as your truth. It was just like, we'll do this practice today, just sitting there, notice when the mind thinks, come back to this moment. Mind thinking, come back. Mind thinking, come back. Not judging, not criticizing. It's about staying in the present moment. So that's a part of awakening. Now, the suffering is when we identify with our labels, our stories, our head trash, when we really identify that. And that's where I was really doing, like, I am bipolar, I have MS, I have psoriasis, I have arthritis, I have migraines. It's like, no, we need to flip that around. The body has The body has, but it's not my body, it's not I have. The body has this, the body has that. But we have to realize that we're the inhabitant of the body, that we are spirit, that we are soul within this body. So we have to realize that, the body has this. So when you awaken, we'll dive into this question now. So when you awaken, suffering does not necessarily end. What happens with suffering, you learn tools to adapt. You no longer identify as like, oh, this is going on in the body. What can I do to help the body? You see yourself more as the observer of the body, as to, in the mud with the body, if you will. So like I'm dealing with sinus issues right now, some sinus pain, but I realize that's not me. This is what the body is experiencing. So let me tune into me, my perfect spirit, and see what I can do to help the body. And it's just having this separation, if you will, of knowing what a truth is and what the body's experiencing. Like I talk about getting rid of head trash. It doesn't mean that no one is absent of head trash. It still comes, but the difference is that I no longer attach to it. If it grabs me, I can quickly let it go. It's like, you got me, goodbye. You got me, goodbye. And that's just the skills you learn as you discover your true self. Is like you build these skills so that the suffering is still there, the head trash, the human experience is still there. Awakening does not remove the human experience. Awakening simply means that you're aware, oh, this is an experience. It's not me. But what can I do to improve this experience, or adjust or modify this experience? And I was just fortunate, I followed my intuition, my insights, and I cured multiple sclerosis, bipolar, psoriasis, arthritis, and migraines. That the cure is within us. It's never outside of us. That's what the awakening is. You discover that you have everything that you need within you. It's not outside of you, that you are the light. It's like they knew this for thousands upon thousands of years in India, these great saints and sages. And by saying namaste, the light within me recognizes the light within you. That is very profound, to realize that you are light, everyone is light, and we're all the same light. We all come from the same source. We're just a different point of that beam of light, if you will. Yeah, Rebecca, yeah, the kids can disturb your peace, if you will, if you allow them to disturb your peace. If you just see them as perfect spirits, simply doing what they know how to be, a kid, enjoying life, having fun. And they want you to have fun with them. So now we had this little talk. I don't want to keep intellectualizing it. So let's actually do this head trash clearing practice to remember who we are and to wake up to our true nature. Then when we wake up to our true nature, we bring our intuitive voice online, if you will. And then we know beyond doubt what is best for us. We're not into the place of head trash, thinking things, trying to figure things out. We simply act from this place of knowing. Okay, so Rebecca's having some kind of fun. I think she secretly wants another 5, 6, maybe 7 kids to keep it more interesting in the household. All right, let's dive into this head trash clearing practice. I'm gonna put a little of the ambient music on that I can get away with on these. Let me just see if it's there. I don't know if there's music here or not. I think it's supposed to be. It says it's there, but we'll see. Maybe it's just quiet right now. All right, so we're just sitting here relaxing. We're letting go of all these rules on how we're supposed to sit, how we're supposed to hold our hands, how we're supposed to breathe. We simply allow the eyes to soften, to close, to remove those external stimulations. To realize this is all about discovering who we are, that we have all this stress, all of these stories, these worries, these anxieties, these phobias, these ailments. But we recognize this is just the human experience. It doesn't have to define us. So as we're just sitting here relaxing, we simply notice that the mind is thinking, going to criticism, judgment, the story. We don't condemn it. We just simply come back to this voice, feeling our feet on the ground. Realize that we are sitting, that we are listening. If the mind comes back into the stories, the thoughts, the excessive thinking, pulling us out of this moment, we simply come back to this voice. Realize you're sitting, noticing your feet on the floor. To realize the conscious mind cannot multitask. So you're either in the story, the thoughts, or aware of the body. That you're listening, that you're sitting. And we don't judge, we don't criticize ourselves. We just bring yourself back. And we can start wherever we are. We only need to do this a few minutes a day. Will make a profound impact in your life. Because you're placing more gaps into the thought stream. The more gaps, the more peace. The more you know yourself as soul, consciousness, spirit, universe, source, whatever you wish to call it, you realize you're the witness to this human experience. Allow that to sink in. You are the witness to your human experience. You are not the human experience. You are the witness to that experience. And this experience is here to help you to grow, to discover a better way forward from your truth, your way of being. So we're just doing this skilled relaxation process. So this is an active process. If you notice you're falling asleep, then you put yourself in a position where maybe like the edge of a chair, where the sensation of falling will bring you back into this moment. Because falling asleep is a mind's defense mechanism. The mind does not want to give up control. So I'd rather have you go asleep than learn to bring yourself present into this moment, to discover who you are. So when you're feeling the anger, the upset, the sadness, the pain, the discomfort, just come back to this moment. Take a breath. Notice you are sitting, standing, breathing. For all your power is in this moment. Then just observe what's going on in the body. What can you do to ease the pain, to ease the discomfort? We just simply follow our insights. We begin to rediscover ourselves and to trust ourselves. Because we've been taught not to trust ourselves, to develop a belief that those outside of us know what's best for us. We know what's best for us, for we inhabit this body. We are the closest to this body. So we have to rely on our wisdom, our insights, on what is best for the body. We just keep coming back, relaxing, being here in this moment. You can think of this as a daily mental shower. Just a few minutes a day. It doesn't have to be as long as this practice. If you sat doing this for 1 minute a day, you'll be a different person in 30 days because you've added so many gaps into the thought stream. You'll be happier, more content. And the longer you can sit, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. But we don't want to sit for hours upon hours a day. We're here for the human experience. Once we gain control of the mind, by coming back into this moment, we're here to enjoy life, to have all these experiences, to love life and everything that it has to offer. As we slowly come back into the body now, feeling the body, maybe feeling your hands rubbing your legs, maybe feeling your hands rubbing against each other, as we gently open our eyes, coming back into this moment. So I see Dali has joined. I see somebody in the Facebook Head Trash Anonymous group saying hello. So hello to them. I don't see their name. So I'm here if there's any questions. And I'm going to pull the Buddha Wisdom deck as well, since we're speaking about awakening today. And Buddha, was one that discovered, that we need to have that experience of suffering to awaken to our true nature. If we didn't have that contrast, like when he was just living in the palace, he didn't see this suffering. It was all shielded from him. There was no growth there. But when he saw the outside the palace walls, he saw all this suffering. That caused a shift. It created a shift. It caused him to contemplate under the tree and discover life. So I'm here if anybody would like a reading, anybody would like to have any questions. Or you're just being at peace and realizing that you know the answers within you. To know that you know. That you don't need the outside world. That's my ultimate goal for everyone, is to have that clarity of insight. That nope, I'm good. And whenever you're faced with a challenge, you get yourself into the moment and you proceed and act from there. Yeah, suffering does serve a purpose, that there are no mistakes in life. Suffering is here to help us discover who we truly are outside of this pain, this discomfort, to realize that we are the witness to this human experience. Hi, Kat. Was that a yes for a reading? Just let me know if you would like a reading, if you have a question, any kind of insights I can provide for you. I'm just sitting here in peace. Just being fully here in this moment. Well, normal is Rebecca is saying, Sam, I will never be normal. We have to realize normal is head trash. Normal is a story. This is how you're supposed to behave. It's nonsense. We're here to be you, whatever that means to you. Normal is head trash. We need to let that stuff go. Just realize I'm here to be me. If they don't like me or not, it doesn't matter. I'm happy with me. So let me read for Dali here. Then I'll read for Rebecca. Then I'll read for Kat. All right. So Dali. Oh, you're getting Vishnu. All right. Vishnu is reminding us that the power within us is the same power within the universe. It's a remembering of awakening, of oneness, of enlightenment, realizing that you and the universe are one. So just notice when the mind gets into separation, division, saying, that's nonsense. I'm one with all that is, and I can shape reality according to my directed consciousness. Hey, Michelle, let me read for okay, that was for Dali. Let me see. So I'm gonna read for Kat, then I'll read for Rebecca, then I'll read for Michelle. All right, so Kat, let's see what the Buddha deck has for you today. I can't pronounce this Indian goddess. I didn't grow up with a Hindi background, but the enlightened sky dancer of the Kundalini. Okay, this is the enlightened sky dancer of Kundalini. We didn't talk about Kundalini again today, but Kundalini sits at the base of the spine, and it can awaken. So this card's all about reminding us what excites us, what ignites the fire within us. Because when we're on fire, enthused about life, then we're aligned with life. So just notice when you're not enthused, not happy with life, what's the story? What's your mind telling you? And just come back to remembering that I'm in charge of my happiness. I'm in charge of my reality. And I can direct that consciousness accordingly. But this story is taking away your power. Okay. Let me read for Rebecca here, then I'll do Michelle. And then I'll get to your question there, Kat. Very interesting. Then there's another question there. Let me take a look. But I want to stay on this path for now. So let me see if we'll pull for Rebecca. Varja Dakini, the Blue Buddha family of the East. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. So just notice when you get into a place of upset, anger, hatred, if you will, and realize that's head trash. It's taking you out of your power. It's making you weak. Just say, this does not serve me. I'm happy with me. That's all that matters. I love me. Have that compassion for yourself. Trust your insights, trust your wisdom, and realize this anger, this hatred is creating separation, division. Realize that they too are perfect spirit. May be lost in their head trash as well. So we just want to have that compassion, because the energy within them is the energy within you. The namaste is a good reminder. The light within you acknowledges the light within them. And they might not even be aware that they are light. They could be so lost in their story. All right, let me see for Michelle now. Michelle, you're getting a devotee card, offering the gift of song. Your skills are the gifts you can share with others. That's the card here. I feel this is all about communicating. I think this is one of your greatest skills as a communicator. Getting people to see the goodness in life, to see the brightness of life. That people love talking to you because you offer the compassion. I feel like compassion, you just ooze compassion when people run across you. You're not going to give them a whole bunch of story. You're going to listen to them, or you're going to give them encouraging words. So just reminding yourself that this is your strongest gift, and keep utilizing that. All right. Rebecca, you can go back and watch the replay. Let me dive a little more into these. So let me see. Kat was saying, my 50th birthday is next month. I want to go to a healing center vacation in Mexico, not sure how to get the funding. For that cat, it's really about relaxing, setting that intention from this deeper place, and then just following the wisdom. A lot of people do these manifestation exercises, but they forget they need to take inspired action, if you will. It's one thing to set the intention and you just expect it to fall into your lap. But usually you set the intention, the spirit saying, oh, go do this, go do this, go do that. But we fail to hear that voice. We just set the intention, we expect it to come true. And sometimes it may, but usually there has to be inspired action, if you will, to act from our intuition. And sometimes we'll make things that will be things that make absolutely no sense. We'll be like, I don't know how this is going to help me accomplish this. We just have to keep walking that path. It's really about setting that intention from this place of perfect spirit, then acting from the wisdom of perfect spirit. And we have a nice question here. Let's dive into this. Okay. I want to pull this up. I'm not sure who said this, but what about the choices we made in the past that we regret and make us suffer? I can't see it as being the right choice. But we have to realize that we don't live in the past. When we start dragging the past into the present, that's when the suffering comes. We just have to see this as a teaching moment, to realize that there was no bad choices. This helped me discover something about myself. So what did you discover about yourself during this? Reflect back and just notice how you learned and grew from that experience. That hanging on to regret, shame will just weigh you down because dragging the past into the present, which creates the suffering. You fully want to be in this moment because all your power is in this moment. Then reflect back. Oh, look what I learned from this. Look how I grew from this. And to realize that there are no mistakes, no bad choices, just different paths of the spiritual journey. Because we're here to learn, to grow, to have different experiences. If we didn't make quote unquote bad choices, we would never grow. It would just be status quo, and that'd be kind of boring. But we're here to stay in our power and reflect, learn, move forward a different way. Okay, yeah, so Rebecca, when I think about the message for you, I don't even remember what the message for Rebecca was. It's just gone. I thought I could get access back to it. But if you're still here, Rebecca, are you still here? I'll pull another card. Maybe there's another message that will come through. Or maybe the same exact message. But if you're still here, let me know, Rebecca. And I'll pull another card. And if there's anybody else that wants a message or has a question, let me know. All right, I'm feeling this card for Rebecca. Oh, this is what I did for TikTok today. You're getting the Buddha Dakini. Oh, the other message is regarding hatred and upset. To realize we want to replace the ignorance with our truth. To realize that this inner voice, this mental voice, is creating division, separation. And we have to realize that Buddha Dakini remembers, trust your wisdom within you. And I would add to that, remember Namaste. The light within me acknowledges the light within them. And they are the same light that animates this body. So we are the one light. And the mind simply creating hate, separation, anger, frustration. We just need to let all that stuff go. And remember, you and the Buddha are one and the same. You share the same light. In a way, you're the continuation of Buddha. We're all the continuation of Buddha. We're all the continuation of everyone that ever lived before us, because we are that one light, having these different experiences, but ultimately being animated by that one light. Oh, hey Dana. Yes, let me come back to this. Okay, great. Let me bring this back. Okay, here we go. Okay, okay, for Dana, let me pull a message for Dana here. Oh, hey, Tammy. All right, the answer to Dana's. Let me get a reading for Dana. The answer is Dowie's question. He asked a very good question here. And it's perfect. So this is for Dana. We're getting the Padma Dakini, the Red Buddha family of the West. Replace greed by cultivating this. Okay, replace greed by cultivating discernment. Okay, so this is for Dana, the Padma Dakini. So if we dive into this, just notice how the mind gets into this place of not enough. Like somebody being successful, big house, good job, good pay, whatever it is. Notice how the mind can become envious, if you will, and start comparing. We need to let all that go and realize that there's no lack in the universe. You can have that as well. If you simply learn to trust yourself, to believe in you, following this deeper wisdom, that there's $1 million in the bank with their name on it. But we have to follow the instructions of spirit to get to that. And most of us do not have the patience for that. We're so wrapped up in the story, the impatience, and the lack of trust in ourselves that we don't pay attention to this voice that will lead us to all sorts of abundance, the riches of life. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome, Rebecca. Hey, Tammy, let me answer Dowie's question here, do a reading. Then I'll do a reading for Tammy. So Dowie has a good question here. Can enlightenment be achieved without experience of suffering? This is where Buddha came to be, his teachings, when he was then behind the palace walls. He would never wake up to his true self. Everything was good. He didn't see any problems in his world, his reality. When he went outside the palace walls, he saw all the suffering in the world. And he was really confused, like, how can this be? It changed his reality. So he sat under the tree and contemplating life. And then he discovered the true essence of life. So we need that contrast of suffering. Otherwise, it's a status quo. And we don't really learn in that place of everything's okay. But it's when everything is not okay, then we discover, hey, what's going on here? And some of us are a little slow at that. It took me 37 years of pain, of suffering to discover I'm perfect spirit just as you were perfect spirit. Okay, let me do a reading for okay, let me do a reading for Tammy. Okay, let me do a reading here for Tammy. Let's see. I don't know if you're on for Tammy. I don't know why I shuffled cards. I just picked a card that feels right to me. Okay, you're getting the Mother Goddess. Okay, the Mother Goddess pulls forth all energy. So for Tammy, it's just remembering the energy, the power within you to realize that you and the universe are one. That you can create the reality that you want to create. But for this to happen, you have to sort of let go of the mental stories that are creating separation, division. There's belief systems saying, I can never do this. I can never have this. I can't do this. All this kind of head trash that creates separation, division needs to be dropped away and realize I am the Mother Goddess, the Father Goddess. I am the energy of the universe that is within me. I can direct this energy to create the life I want. The only thing preventing me from creating the life I want, the situations I want, the experiences I want, is my mental stories. So we keep coming back into this moment where our power is. Okay, so we have Dahlia Southgate. Okay, I'll read for her next, and I'll read for Christina after that. So I'm doing soul messages tomorrow. I'm just doing Buddha Wisdom Day today. Soul messages tomorrow. And I have another healing circle coming up on the 29th. I'll probably share that in Head Trash group soon. Head Trash Anonymous Facebook group. So for Dahlia. Okay, Dahlia, it's a very interesting question. I'll maybe for Dahlia, then Christina, that will come to Dahlia's question. The 8th century wild man. Intense practice yields great results. Okay, this is for Dahlia. Intense practice yields great results. What is this intense practice? The intense practice is coming into the moment, coming into us. That's the intense practice, because this mind's dragging you all over the place. So it takes daily practice so it stops holding power over you. It can't be a practice that you do here, there, because the head trash keeps building each day. So you have to work at it each day, if you will, of coming back like story here, and just keep pulling yourself back. That's the intense practice, that it's daily, that maybe 2 or 3 times a day. It can be really, really intense. If you're really dealing with a lot of panic attacks, a lot of depression, a lot of pain, then you want to do the practice as much as possible, this intensity of practice of I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, really coming back into this moment. And then we get Christina. Okay, Christina, let me see. We'll go through the game of shuffling the deck. You know, I'm going to pull a card that feels right for you. Okay, pulling this card for Christina. Okay, Sri Yantra. Cosmic map to your true, playful, laughing self. When feeling disheartened, stop and watch a child at play. So we're getting this card for Christina. I'm feeling that maybe you're being too serious with life, that you're too occupied with making sure everything's in order, that I'm really feeling like everything has to be in order for you to be happy. You're just being really wrapped up in these rules is what I'm feeling. And they're saying, if you can't relax, go watch some children play, watch them having fun, and realize you could be having that fun as too, if you can let go of the seriousness of the mind and just go play. Go enjoy life, go celebrate you, go have fun, do that thing that makes you happy, to take care of the rigidness of the mind. This card's really about the rigidness of the mind. Sometimes we can't snap out of it, and we need to go watch kids play, watch a funny movie, listen to a comedy, something to snap us out of it, to break, just put that one gap into the thought stream of the serious thought stream, and doing whatever it is that brings in that light. Oh, hey, Annette. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Aaron. Let me. There's always asking a good question here. Let's dive into that, and we'll go back to some reading. How has our life changed after spiritual awakening? Okay, let's dive into this. There's a Zen saying that comes really profound on this. Before enlightenment, you chop wood, you carry water. After enlightenment, you chop wood, you carry water. Life itself does not change after awakening. What does change is your awareness of the situation. Instead of realizing, oh, this is hard work, I don't really like doing this, when you're awakened, if you realize, oh, I need to do this to support the body. This needs to keep the body warm, to keep the body hydrated. So there's an awareness that comes about that life itself doesn't change. You still may have your full-time jobs and life may seem to be going as normal, but it no longer defines you. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing after spiritual awakening is the human experience no longer defines you. When you're asleep, if you will, you are defined by your human experience. I'm bipolar, I have MS, I have this, life is terrible. Realize, no, it's just the human experience. I'm greater than this human experience. I'm the witness of this human experience. Okay, let me go back to some readings here. Okay. Okay, so for Aaron Southgate, let me see what I'm feeling for Aaron here. And we'll be doing longer soul messages tomorrow. Okay, so for Aaron, the goddess of long life. The path of intellect can yield a long life. I like to change it a little bit though. The path of intellect can lead to a long life. The intellect I see as the mind thinking. That's the way I see it. That we don't really want to operate from here. The path to a long life is actually following our own wisdom. So Aaron, this is a reminder for you. Are you taking your thoughts as your truth on how to take best care of you? Are you taking this voice as your truth on how to take care of the body? Because this voice sees that you are the body. This voice knows that you inhabit the body. And this voice knows how to best take care of the body that's inhabiting. Just reminding you, just notice where you're intellectualizing and just come back into trusting and believing in your own insights, your own truth. Okay, so for Annette, still avoiding things. Let's see what the Buddha wisdom cards have to say about this. But just be warned, Annette, this is a thing that's coming to me. It's coming to me, Annette, that is, when I was still avoiding things, avoiding my truth, I got a spiritual slap from the universe. Like I was always wondering what else was going to go wrong. I wasn't listening to myself. I wasn't paying attention to the real me. So I got a universal 2x4, if you will, in the form of multiple sclerosis, where I lost the ability to walk. So just be aware of avoiding things, and that the universe is really trying to impart a lesson onto you. It keeps pulling out a bigger and bigger stick until you get the message. All right, so let's take a look here for it in that. Practicing Chad. Extend your awareness of the energetic edges or boundaries of the universe. Wow, that's really esoteric. Okay, so this is the card, Practicing Chad. So how do we do this? How do we practice this? It's really about coming back into this moment. Really come back and see how you're interconnected with all things. That if you're in a place of lack, then observe how things seem to be not coming to fruition. Everything seems to be lack, kind of dull. And just notice it's really about coming within these energetic boundaries. There are no energetic boundaries. It's only the mind separating. It's really about coming in a place of the heart, of spirit, and realize that we are interconnected. Our inner being, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say. If we're going down the Buddhist path and we'll look at inner being, that we are one with all things, that we are the continuation of all those things before us. And we will just keep continuing onward. All right, so I think I'm done for today, and I'll be back next Sunday, unless this is the last call for messages. And I'll be back tomorrow night with soul messages around 8:30 Eastern. Yeah, it's Tammy. Yeah, let me bring this up. This is good. This is good. Okay, Tammy's asking this. Yeah. So Tammy, it's really about staying in this moment and realizing that this is the current human experience, and just see what insights that come up for you. It's really about not getting too attached to the outside world, but really staying in your truth, in your light, and maybe to recognize the light in other people. because all this division is creating separation. And just realize we're all one. We're all trying to do our very best. And the way we change course as a collective is by reminding everyone that we are consciousness, that we have the power within us. And no one can take that power from us. All right. Taking off for now. Take good care of yourself. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you next Sunday, or I'll see you tomorrow night. And we'll have a healing circle again on the 29th. And take good care of yourself. Bye for now.